Climate change has been held responsible for a number of environmental changes, and water resource is one of the aspects of the environment that are showing signs of the detrimental effect of climate change. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) declared in its 2007 report that the warming of the climate system is unmistakable, as evidenced by increases in global average air and ocean temperatures, widespread melting of snow and ice, and increasing global mean sea level. Moreover, global temperature has risen by 0.74 degrees Celsius in the last century, which from 1906 to 2005, and global sea level has risen by 17 centimeters throughout the 20th century. Furthermore, more regional changes have also been observed, including changes in Arctic temperatures and ice, ocean salinity, wind patterns, drought, and more. Hydrometeorology of Malaysia can be seen through temperature and rainfall. For temperature, the analysis of 5 regional annual mean temperatures recorded by Malaysian Meteorological Department (MMD) in various parts of Malaysia indicated warming trends. The picture above, which is figure 1, shows an upward trend of the mean annual temperature from 1969 to 2011. Next, rainfall. In Malaysia, rainfall trends show little identifiable pattern, although temperatures show a clear pattern. Over the observation period, rainfall trends show both upward and downward movement from 1951 to 2005. The picture above, which is map 1, shows the rainfall trend in Peninsular Malaysia from 1951 to 2012. However, rainfall amounts may vary on a more localized scale, as illustrated by the Barat Laut region in the state of Selangor. The Agricultural Department of the state of Selangor conducted an observation on the rainfall pattern in the Barat Laut Selangor area and discovered that while the rainfall amount for the past 30 years has remained stable, this is not the case when the data for the last 10 years is considered. It seems that the amount of rainfall appears to have decreased slightly, and in terms of water resources, this is a worrying tendency. The objective of the study was to examine the water crisis in the state of Selangor in February 2014 and March 2014. Selangor's high level of urbanization and development has turned the state into an exceedingly desirable place to live. In terms of water resources, the water delivery system is struggling to keep up with increasing demand, as there is a limit to the water resources' ability to meet the needs of users. The changing hydrometeorological trend, which is increasingly thought to be related with global warming, has made it even more difficult for the water delivery system to keep up with the increasing demand. There are two types of methodology employed in this study, which are: the first one is participants' observation technique, which the research used this method in some portion of the study, which necessitated the researcher to interview as well as observe the subjects. And second one is secondary data analysis, which the data obtained from authoritative sources.
So now I will move to the result part. So the result get by researcher is a severe dry weather in Selangor. This is due to the tropical weather system in the country has moved far to the west of Pacific Ocean. The other result is the atmosphere was very stable, causing less rainfall in the peninsula and Sarawak. So in the table here we can see that in February and March of 2014 in Selangor, the temperature are generally high compared to other months. A severe dry weather caused a decrease in dam level. From the table, we can see that in February of 2014, the dam level was lower compared to the normal level. This severe dry weather also caused the issue of ammonia contaminated. So on January of 2014, there are two water treatment plants, which is the SSV3013 and Bukit Dampoy was closed due to the high ammonia content in the raw water. So on the February of 2014, the Batu 11 water treatment plants was closed again, and this made around 20,000 households was affected. So lastly, the severe dry weather will also cause water rationing. On 24 February, water intake from Selangor River was authorized to be reduced by 200 million liters per day, which effectively reduced the output of 5 water treatment plants. So as a result, there are 7 regions begins to experience a low water pressure and drinking of water supply. So on 27 February, the water rationing plans was implemented. There are 4 phases of water rationing, and the first phase will start with the shutdown of SSV3013 and Bukit Dampoy water treatment plants. and this already affecting around 60,185 households. At the second phase, there are additional cuts of 30 milliliters per day from Gate Dam was imposed, and as a result, around 413,671 households in the 6th region was affected. So for the third phase, the Selangor River Dam has been reduced further by 200 ml per day, making total amount raw water intake reduction to 500 ml per day. So this caused about 2.9 million people was affected. The fourth phase, the reduction amount to 1,000 million liters per day. The phase affect around 633 extra area in addition to the area already affected by the third phase. So next I will move to the discussion of study question. The first is about Langkat 2 project. Under this schema, water can get from the neighboring state of Pahang, and this schema will able to supply 1,890 million liters per day of additional water to Selangor. But since the plant is to be placed in Selangor and under the Federal Constitution of Malaysia, land is a state matter. So therefore, the presence of administrations of state is reluctant to agree to a complete of this project unless another issue of water service restructuring is also solved concurrently. The next study question is about facility not upgrades. On December of 2012, an unscheduled water supply disruptions occurred in 82 areas in Kuala Lumpur and Gombak. The water treatment plants of Batu Ilamitras and Bukit Tempur was forced to cease operations temporarily due to the high level of ammonia in the raw water. The last study question is about environmental awareness among the populations. People could not care less for the well-being of river and the raw water. Generally, there's water increases occur in Selangor due to the high level of ammonia and the distill pollution. Next, I will move to the strength of the study. So there are two strengths of this study. First is high cost effectiveness. Researchers use the methodology of participant observation technique and secondary data analysis. These two methodologies make the total amount of cost needed for this research is low, and it is only involves transportations and meal fee. Next, the second strength of this study is it has high generalizability. The methodology used by the researcher helps them to get the large quantity of data for analyzing. The researcher collects data of all people in the state of Selangor. The current population of service of Selangor water supply system is estimated at more 6 million people.
Alright, now let's move on to the witnesses of the study. Researchers have used the method of secondary data analysis. The researchers state that the data used in this study were obtained from authoritative sources. Lipov and Natalia 2020 state that the disadvantage of using secondary data are: data may not facilitate particular research question. Second, information regarding study design data collection procedures may be scarce and data may potentially lack depth. Second, the researcher did not clearly state the objective of the study. The researcher only stated the aim in the abstract only and did not explain the objective in detail. Reginald and Patrick 2020 state that the uses of the research objective is to serve as the researcher's guide in identifying the appropriate research design. Right now, let's move on to the impact. The York Research Impact Statement 2006 described that the research impact as the when the knowledge generated by our research contribute to benefits and influence society, culture, our environment, and the economy. Due to climate change, temperature, and rainfall trends in the state of Selangor, the water supply system in the state of Selangor is unable to supply water resources. When the water situation did not improve, it became necessary that a water rationing exercise be implemented in the area districted. As a result of the reduction of raw water intake, region in Selangor began to experience low water pressure and trickling of water supply. Finally, this study has given an impact and awareness to ourselves that in order to prevent the issue of water scarcity from occurring, we must identify the causes of climate change occurring and work together in addressing these issues. In conclusion, hot and dry weather experience which occurred throughout February until March 2040 was so severe that the water level in the dam had dropped so rapidly in such a short period of time. Since the water supply system of the state depends solely on surface water, the decrease in dam levels resulting in decreased volume of raw water that could be treated for consumption. It is concluded that besides the influence of deteriorating hydrometeorology, human negligence or unconcerned attitude may have also contributed to the problem. A further study was conducted by Zuraini, Zaharuddin, Mahira, and Sureddin in 2017 on this issue. This study showed the panel random effect and fixed effect model to analyze the relation between the income, climate change, and population and water consumption on water resources in 13 states of Malaysia. The result indicate that the positive impact of income presumes that an increase of water resources is due to the increase of water uses from household as the most important hygienic agents and utility in daily life. Besides, the climate change and higher population density were also found to be significant and positively related to the water resources. Further research with better or more sophisticated models, such as non-climate factors like the politicals, technologicals, the values of the society, the alternate method controlling the water uses, and the availability of data will be able to contribute positively to the result and finding in the future. That's all from us. Thank you.